In this video I'm gonna show how I made this sound. So I'm just gonna give a quick walkthrough of the individual elements that I used, and I actually just made this sound rather quickly. These are the individual layers of the sound. This is how the sound originally sounded. And I have around 3 or 4 different types of sounds in there. So I have my punchy sounds. And this is actually just one of the punchy sounds reversed. Then I have my downers. This one is very similar to the one I made in my last video. Then I have this whoosh sound. And then down here just a few sounds that are more textural. All the synthesized sound I made in Vital. So up here you can see these are just a few of the punchy sounds that I made. And these are very easy to make. I've just been using sine waves, and for a few of them I've used triangles or square waves on top of them. And you're just using one LFO with a shape like this for the pitch bend. So I have LFO1, this shape is on the transpose of the first 2 oscillators. And then I have this one for the volume shape. So this is on the volume of all 3 oscillators. And then just playing them at different pitches and applying a bunch of random effects. And then you just can quickly create a few of these sounds. And then down here I have a few downers with a tremolo. Also very easy to make. And then down here I have a few of these very distorted bass drops. And so this sound is just made up of these sounds that I synthesized. And then I have a few sounds on top that are not synthesized, like this whoosh sound. And this is actually created from this motorbike sample. So this is the original sound. And I've just been applying a lot of distortion, some EQ at the end, and this grain delay just for pitch modulation. So without the grain delay, it sounds like this. And with the grain delay, you get this sound. So I've just been automating frequency and pitch here. And then I just used small parts of this and just used fade-ins and fade-outs. And on top of this bass drop here at the end, I also have a bunch of sounds. So these are just rock movements or ice cubes. I just heavily compressed them and layered them on top of this bass drop to give it a bit more interesting texture. We can actually listen to this with these sounds and then without them. And now the entire sound without this group down here. I think it's a nice way to add something organic. So I actually bounced this entire sound to a new track, and then I split it in half. So I essentially have the first part of the sound, and the second part is just a distorted bass drop at the end. And the first part I changed and used a warp mode in Ableton called texture. And with this mode you actually can modify the grain size. So I just pitched it up 6 semitones and played around with the grain size and the flux down here. And you can actually just copy this and pitch it up. So it's easy to get a few interesting sounds out of this. And I've just done a crossfade between the 2 parts. So I hope that this was kind of helpful. And I actually just wanted to make this video because I think there are a lot of interesting ways to process sounds in there and to create a bit more complex sounds with layering different sounds.